And right now at 10 o'clock, the Indianapolis City-County Council voted to move forward with the decision to create a special counsel to investigate allegations of sexual misconduct against Mayor Joe Hogsett's former top aide. News 8's Danielle Zukowski was at that meeting and joins us now with what the councilors had to say. Danielle.
Well, Phil, that resolution did pass tonight in council, 22-1 with one abstention. The goal of that special committee will be to look into the sexual harassment allegations against members of the city. The proposal will thoroughly examine and investigate allegations against members of the Hogsett administration and recommend policy changes and further action to address gaps in human resources policy and code, and recommends further immediate action. Council Vice President Allie Brown supported the proposal and spoke to News 8 about her support of Lauren Roberts dating back to 2019.
When you are ready to go forward and tell more of your story or tell more people, because my whole position is I cannot tell your story for you, but when you're ready, I am there to support you. So when she decided to come out and tell her story right this year, it was there I am. I'm there to support her.
Councilor Ron Gibson voted no.
I believe that a former U.S. attorney knows what to do here, and he's already started the process of making things right.
Councilor Derek Cahill abstained from voting.
I support finding the truth, but I believe we need the help of the General Assembly to modernize APRA to protect the victims in this case.
Many councilors chose not to comment about any of the ongoing headlines coming out of Mayor Joe Hogsett's office. Some did. Democratic Majority Leader Maggie Lewis spoke about the investigation.
It's important that we take the time to do a deep dive into what's taken place over the last few years. We think it's important that all of our team members feel safe, that they have an outlet to report any type of inappropriate behavior.
I think we all agree that something needs to be done, and particularly looking forward, we need to have the right tools in place and make sure this doesn't repeat itself.
Republicans supported the proposal alongside Democrats.
I think exactly what the proposal intends, which is to find out what happened. Who knew? When did they know? And better understand how we can fix what seems to be a bad culture here in the city government.
There was back and forth between members over amendments that ultimately did not pass, but would have allowed councilors to have more power to obtain potentially sensitive information. The Committee on Committee meets tomorrow. They are expected to choose members of the Special Investigative Committee at that time. I'm Danielle Zukowski for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook for updates.
Danielle, thank you. Mayor Joe Hogsett releasing this statement in response. I commend the City-County Council for ensuring that their investigation as part of Proposal 287 will protect the confidentiality of any current or former city employee who was or may be involved in any claim of sexual harassment. I remain committed to working with the City-County Council and the entire administration to make continued changes to our policies and practices, both those initiated by my administration and through this resolution. Now, a woman who made sexual harassment accusations against a top advisor to Mayor Joe Hogsett is now angry with the comments the mayor made over the weekend. We first brought you Lauren Roberts' story a few months ago when she exposed the abuse from the mayor's former right-hand man, Thomas Cook. Our News 8's Kyla Russell sits down with Lauren then and spoke with her again today.
Lauren told me she wasn't surprised when she heard what Hogsett said on Saturday when he showed up to a Northeast Side concert hosted by comedian Mike Epps. I ain't running for nothing. I'm running from things, but I ain't running for nothing. That's what Mayor Joe Hogsett said on stage at Saturday's concert.
I wouldn't be surprised if this was a rough weekend for people who work for him. The fact that his behavior on Saturday and making a quote unquote joke about this situation and the accountability coming his way is really not surprising, but it is disappointing.
I asked the mayor's office for explanation. They say it was a comment taken out of context from the Mike Epps concert about something he heard from the crowd. It was not about the issue. His comments come as the City-County Council considers an investigative committee to look into how the Hogsett administration handles sexual harassment inside city offices. Lauren says she's glad they are taking action now, but that certain council members have known she was abused for at least 7 years.
Also, I will say that there are people on City-County Council who knew about my case going back as early as 2017. And so I'm curious what kind of accountability there is for other people in power aside from the mayor who were aware of my case and perhaps others, I don't know, but didn't take the action that they should have at the time.
And when I spoke to Lauren about 3.5 weeks ago, she demanded the mayor release any documents related to the investigation into Thomas Cook's behavior in 2017. It's been at least 28 days and no documents have been made public.
My suspicion is that they don't exist. So yeah, there's no record of campaign spending, city spending on my case. The mayor is all but calling me a liar publicly now and saying that I was contacted as part of an investigation. I was not.
Lauren says she wants the mayor and others held accountable, but she's more focused on supporting the victims.
Looking at how to prevent this in the future, because right now I think that there's a lot of focus on the mayor, as there should be, but I want to make sure that we're not losing the bigger picture.
Lauren says that bigger picture involves this being the tip of the iceberg, with more women expected to share their stories. She says it's a systemic problem that needs a systemic solution. I'm Kyla Russell for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
Meanwhile, Councilor Minority Leader Brian Mowry also responded to the comments tonight, calling it distasteful.
Distasteful, and it really goes to show where his head's at with this whole issue and this whole systemic issue of this harassment that he's allowed to go on in the city for so long.